Hello everyone and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian if you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, you
Sexy beast, baby.
That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free compliments at the start of these videos, maybe a little bit cringe at the start of these videos. I'll let you ultimately be this deciding factor. Now in today's video, I'm going to take you guys through the returning player's guide to Destiny 2. Whether you've been away for just a short period of time or you've been on a long hiatus from Destiny 2, a lot has changed since the game originally launched, and it's my hope to be able to kind of get you caught up to speed for the Witch Queen and help answer any questions that you might have regarding the game, the systems that are in place, how you purchase it, what you should purchase, and so much more. And there's a lot that we need to talk about, and you can always use the chapter markers in the YouTube header to pretty much find the information that you need if you're specifically looking for something certain. However, if this guide doesn't answer it for you, sound off in the comments below. I'll do my best to get you guys the information that you need so you can either enjoy your time in Destiny 2 or you can crush your time in Destiny 2. One choice is up to you, and I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're going to go with it. Hey everyone, let's go ahead and dive into the core aspect of the game. Destiny 2's got a lot on its plate, and let's talk about monetization first and foremost, because ultimately, if you're looking for my opinion, I posted it the other day, but I want to talk to you guys about the concept of Destiny's monetization, because this is something that you should be using to evaluate your purchase decisions. Currently, you can also see Forsaken Pack. Note that the Forsaken expansion and story has left the game. This is a process called vaulting. If you're going to be someone who's going to be frustrated at some point that Beyond Light or Shadowkeep or the Witch Queen goes into the vault, just note that that money is something that I don't think you'll ever see back. We don't fully understand the vaulting process because we haven't seen things come out of the vault fully as it relates to purchasing these expansions, but Destiny 2 is a living world, a living story, something that as a part of what's commonly referred to as FOMO, the fear of missing out, that is something that they've gotten better at. I think they could improve on, but note that the fact that the expansions will be vaulted at some point means there is that natural fear of missing out. They do give you several years. Forsaken's been out for a long time. It has now been vaulted. Ultimately, what next would be the assumption is Shadowkeep. So when it comes down to purchasing decisions, note that that's what you're going to need to understand. Now, Destiny's model is a la carte. So if you purchase the Witch Queen, as you see here, I've got the Witch Queen and the 30th anniversary bundle. You know, you can hopefully understand my words sometimes. Note that that's what I decided to purchase. That comes with the 30th anniversary pack, the Witch Queen, and Deluxe Edition. In the Witch Queen, one of the changes that they have made, if you want to get into the dungeon system, some of the best designed content that they made so far, you will need the Deluxe Edition and greater. So just note again, purchasing the Witch Queen does not get you Beyond Light or Shadowkeep. You have to decide if you want to purchase those on your own, and some features are locked behind the various expansions. Stasis is a part of Beyond Light from everything that we've tested and has been confirmed to us by other players as well. If that ever changes in the future, just note that I think would be a positive change. But if you're looking to get the stasis powers, the ice powers, you're going to have to purchase Beyond Light. Now, they do have a legendary catch-up edition, meaning pretty much is going to bundle things for you. That's going to be a good first starting piece. Now we've talked about monetization. I think that's kind of a key aspect. Let's dive into what has changed with the game itself. I'm also, again, I probably should have stated this right at the beginning. This guide assumes that you have a foundation with Destiny 2. It assumes you understand kind of the core aspects of this game. I will be putting out a brand new, completely brand new starters edition to Destiny 2 here in the future, so look forward to that. That's where I take you through the new Light campaign, the free trial, what's included, things like that. I've done that for a couple years now, so hopefully you guys enjoy those. But this is mainly focused in on people who have played this game at some point and have bounced out. There's a lot of times where people come and go from Destiny, and that's perfectly fine. The game in and of itself is set up in a way that it makes it easier for you to join back in. And one of the reasons that it does is that gear, when you come into Destiny 2, is actually going to be at level 1350. So if you're worried that it's been too long of a time since you played and there's going to be too much of a grind, one of the things Destiny does is that every expansion, every yearly expansion that they have, yearly-ish, they're going to increase your light level to a base minimum, and then from there you can continue to grind up. Now the soft cap, and when we talk about capping your power level in the game, is set at 1500. If you complete the legendary campaign, which is a real key aspect and a nice feature that the game introduces. It gives you 2 difficulties, the classic and the legendary. If you complete the legendary campaign, you get some serious awesome rewards at putting you at 1520, which is well beyond the soft cap light level. We'll talk a little bit more of the power grind and the leveling process here in just a little bit. But one of the things they've done really well with the Witch Queen is really like putting in the quest, the MSQ, the main story, that campaign. How many ways can I say it, right? Putting it all really in one good spot. So when you go into the throne world, the new area map here on the map itself, you'll see kind of the classic and the legendary campaign. You can pick either one, it doesn't matter. It's going to just basically set the difficulty, and then as you go through the story in the campaign, you'll be able to pick what quest you want to play. This will allow you to be able to fully clear the legendary campaign with friends, or if you want to do a solo challenge, you can do that as well. So just note that's where this is maintained, and it's very easy to get itself into. They've added a lot of different content here on the world map, and overall, like if you haven't seen the updated map and how it flows, note that you have a few different options. So let me take you through the just regular kind of flow of the game itself. Now, Destiny 2 is an RPG. This means that it's, you know, the developers classify it as MMORPG, you know, QRSTUV, an RPG, which means that you get quests. You have various weekly seasonal challenges. So every week in this season, it's going to open up more and more challenges for you to complete. So if you miss a week, you're not going to be actually like punished severely into the ground for doing so. I really appreciate that they made that change overall. So right now, at the time of this recording, we're in week 1. You can track various different things that you want to work on itself. And when you have that nice little green tag, overall, this is going to give you a better visual when you open up your director to where you need to go and where you need to focus. Now, once you've hit that level cap, once you've cleared the Witch Queen, a lot of new content is going to open up to you. And this is going to happen in the form of your power grind, which if you're ever curious, you see these nice little golden icons on pieces of content. That's going to tell you that for that week, you still have guaranteed rewards to win. So you can see here, I've got nothing here because I've already done it, but I can jump down here and actually have a powerful gear piece of items. If you haven't been paying attention to the grind itself, there's 2 real types of progression post the soft cap 1500, and that's your powerful gear grind and your pinnacle gear. Powerful gear is what you want to focus in on first because it's going to push you to the current hard cap of 1550, and then your pinnacle is going to push you beyond that. It's going to be able to level you up past that. And that's why typically you focus it on your powerful drops first for the week, and then your pinnacle if you want to try to be efficient. I'll leave that up to you. I'm personally working on not being efficient. I'm just focusing it on, am I having fun or not? Basically answering ultimately that question. So you can see here, once you finish the Witch Queen, all the little golden icons will start lighting up for things and activities that you can do that's going to help get you more power. The other thing that's going to help you get more power is your artifact for the season. Now, each season, this is going to reset back to 0, but it's going to give you the ability to basically every time you level up to be able to unlock new perks for that season, but also to continue to have that like kind of static power increase that goes beyond your random rolls for this pieces of gear. Now, if it's probably been a little while since you've been on, note that your gear and how your quote unquote like true power is measured isn't based off of necessarily what you have equipped, but you have the item in your inventory, or even I think in the vault. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I believe is like as long as you have that item, that it does increase your overall possibility for an item to go up. Now, one of the great changes they've made, one of the things that we've done prior going into this was you have Banshee, you have your weaponsmith materials that you're using to rank up. They've completely reworked Banshee. So just like if I go ahead and decipher, break down this this item right here, you'll see that my gunsmith rank has gone up. And as that goes up, I can go check in with Banshee and get my rewards that way. No longer am I tracking weapon materials to be turning in at any kind of clip or point. And that's actually a really healthy thing that I really appreciate that they've done. Now, while I fly myself into the tower to kind of talk to you guys about some of the changes that we've seen with the vendors, I'm going to go ahead and let that load. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's talk about our seasonal pass and our model. Now, the season pass comes with the deluxe edition, or you can buy each individual season for $10. My personal preference is I've always gotten the collector's edition. I've done that since the beginning of Destiny, so they've kind of got me hooked in on that aspect. And you can say voice crack if you made it all the way to this point in the video, as my voice kind of fails. This just gives you a general reward track. This is where the FOMO comes in, because at some point you're going to end up coming back here into the into your seasonal 16, you know, or whatever season you're watching this video, and say, hey, I need to go ahead and you know, offer, you'll give you the ability to buy these various ranks. I would have hold off on any kind of purchase like that. Generally speaking, your ranks, if you're just playing actively, are going to fill up just as fast. But this is where I really hope that at some point in the future, they bring in kind of the Halo model, allowing you to equip whatever season you want to grind out on. But we'll have to wait and see as that goes. Now that we're in the tower, let's go ahead and jump over here. I'm going to show you some of the things that I've really appreciated about the system changes. If you guys are also PvP players, note that the trials has been reworked as well, and they have a much more welcoming, you know, approach to trials overall. So I've really appreciated that. This video won't go into that because it's not the weekend, but just note that you can actually solo queue and end up having a really good time with trials and progression overall. One of the things you'll notice within how you rank up now, you'll see various reward tracks for yourself as a guardian. So I can actually pick that up because I've hit that rank. And then as I hit rank 7, 10, 13, 16, and in this case 16 complete, I'll actually be able to get all of these rewards. So you can keep going, and then you can prestige these rewards and continue to go and play. Again, like I said, bounties, the weekly bounties are all part of the kind of that seasonal weekly and will unlock over time. But you'll find your various daily bounties that you can go and purchase, you know, pretty much for Glimmer at the most part. Just note, if you ever are finding yourself short on Glimmer, your daily bounties that they give you are just 250. But if you want additional random objectives, that's going to cost you 3,000 Glimmer. Only do this if you're really looking for some additional extra, primarily because it just generally doesn't necessarily equate to the exact same rewards. But you can see here that these extras can reward you Bright Dust. So there's some kind of value trade-off with that as well. Now, while I covered this in my Void 3.0 guide, in which that I went through the Titan Hunter and Warlock, note that if you haven't seen that guide, this is the new Void 3.0 system, in which you can pick your various different supers, your various abilities, be able to modify those abilities with aspects, and then based off of those aspects, equip fragments, which will change and give you various buffs, maybe even decrease your stats, increase your stats overall, and allow you to really kind of build and mold the system that you want. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole system in and of itself. We will be putting out build guides here on the channel, so if you haven't subscribed and you feel like I earned it at some point, I'd love to have you back here checking out the future Destiny content. Note that I'm thrilled for this. Now, you might be wondering, like, well, that's great, Brian, but what about you know, what about the old systems? They're currently still here for Solar and for Arc. Now, these are going to be getting an upgraded, just like the 3.0 rework, throughout this year of Destiny 2. So in future seasons, you will see Solar and Arc get its rework into the 3.0 system to kind of function very similar to that of Stasis, which you can see here has been in play for a while. So at its core, and I obviously don't use a lot of Stasis, and that's just me. At its core, this is a really good change. Another interesting change for you guys just on the fence is weapons level up. And you have weapon crafting. So you can see here with this exotic, the Orstro Striga, that you get by completing the Destiny 2 campaign and actually crafting this weapon. And if you guys are like, what about crafting? Well, essentially you want to go into the Enclave, and then when you're in the Enclave, you're going to run down those nice stairs into the Relic, in which that you can actually then shape or reshape various weapons. So if I want to come in here, submachine guns, Striga, I can go ahead and reshape it if I've got the materials needed. And obviously right now it's currently equipped, so let's go ahead and actually say shape. And you can see here various different weapons that I have unlocked, you know, or when you unlock the pattern, you'll be able to actually craft those as well. So to highlight the process, you can see here the Screaming Swarm is the default, and then as I level it up, I will be able to unlock various different perks. So in this case, it requires level 10 on this, and as I level itself up, I can actually pick out various different objects as well. So what your default is just going to be your base default, but you go and use the weapon, and that's the coolest thing. You use the weapon and it's going to level itself up. And you can just do that every day, all day long, to be able to kind of build out your ideal weapon with its ideal perks, especially for exotics, things like that within the game. So I'm really quite interested in this crafting system. Could it use more? Well, you know, maybe we'll just kind of have to play around with that in the long run. So we talked about our seasonal relic. We talked about our various different ways to level up. Overall, you might be asking yourself, like, how do you like grind out reputation? How do you like maximize your overall, like, you know, I guess trying to be efficient? And it comes down to a few things. Kind of look at your seasonal challenges. These are going to give you big boosts, as you can see here, to your experience, to your overall time in the game itself, but it might push you into things that you don't want. My general strategy and advice is never do anything that you're not having fun, because that's one of the things I tend to find with a lot of people in these kind of games, not just Destiny, but in any game possible. Focus on the things that you enjoy the most. Pick up those things and do those things. And that ultimately is going to actually help you achieve your goals more than anything else. I know for one, this is more me talking to me than it is me giving you advice, because I tend to always kind of bite off more than I can chew. But at its core, jump in, play the campaign, and then essentially just kind of start your power grind and not try to keep up with the Joneses. That, I think, is going to be your best case for success within Destiny. Then ultimately it's about finding weapons that you enjoy the most to kind of play with, refining your build, challenging yourself into new and different ways, and then hopefully teaming up with others if you're so inclined. Now guys, that's going to wrap it up for this guide. If you feel like there's more information that you need from me, sound off in the comments below. I'll try to address that in future videos as well. I do thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you have a fantastic day, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with the clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.